We've got audio. Perfect. Let us begin. Shabbat Shalom, our most esteemed friends, honorable judges, LVE tribe, as well as everyone else accompanying us. In this rather precious, radiant, sunny, it would seem that it's going to be a hot day of Shabbat. From California, the US of A, today being the 21st day of Aviv, the feast of unleavened bread is, or rather matzah, or matzot, which we obviously eat with leaven. The year 5995 from creation, today being the 9th of May of the year 2026, we shall study yet another chapter of wisdom and discipline, part 66, a number that is very suggestive, 66. And today we also have, since we have begun from Bikurim, we've begun the traditional countdown that we do every year of the countdown of the Omer that takes us to the feast of Shavuot. Today is week number 1, although it's ending day 7. For those who are not counting or don't understand what I've mentioned, it is well designed in our calendar. It says the weeks there and the days, so then it's 7 weeks, plus 1 day, 50 days, what is called Pentecost in Christianity. We call it Shavuot, as the original feast is called, and we are on a countdown that takes us to that feast. Today is week number 1, day 7. Tomorrow will be week number 2, day 8. So then we're on the count on the Omer. I was going to write it down, but I forgot. But you already know. Very well. We shall begin by congratulating everyone who has had a birthday during this week, which are as follows: Numa Macedo Cardoso, Brazil; Maria Sanchez Torres, Mexico; Carmenza Montiel, Colombia; Sebastián Triana, Colombia; Gerardo Alberto Murillo, Costa Rica; Gilbert Calderon, the Dominican Republic; Rosa Dina Figueroa de Alvarenga, El Salvador; Eunice Castillo Calderon, Mexico; David Mota, Brazil; and Brenda Martinez, who is a part of this group here, but she is spending some days in vacation in Honduras, so then we send her a great big hug. Many greetings to Brenda. I'm sure she's listening to us. She just had her birthday a couple days ago, so then a very happy birthday, Brenda. Very well. I wanted to communicate to you, just in case if somebody writes on my timeline, I can't see it on Facebook, it's not working, my Facebook timeline is not working, I just see my publications. Before you give me any tips of what to do, I've done everything possible. It is Facebook mistakes. It's not showing me the invitations that Leslie places. I don't see anything except for it's not my settings. Yes, it's done on its own, and I've checked all the settings, I've followed all the procedures that Facebook says, all the advice is nothing works. And it's not me the only one that has problems. There's many people that have that problem, that Facebook is not working well for everyone. And it's not showing me anything except for what I publish. So then, if you placed something on my timeline, and it sounds like I ignored it, it's because I can't see it. So then, if I have that problem, I don't know if any one of you has the same problem. I can't see anything that my friends publish, nothing. I hope they fix it. I followed all the procedures, all the settings, I've changed everything, nothing. There's no way of seeing anything when it should show me. And anyway, that's how Facebook is. I could care less a lot, but anyway, I'll let you know. Let's talk a little bit about what has happened with Boca, our Boca section. I believe that we've all watched the game that we won against Central Córdoba. The other day, we won it. Very good. But Boca demonstrates that they have a problem, which is to miss lots of goals. In life, if we apply this to life, there are many people that also miss out on opportunities. These opportunities, generally, They are not many. When you see them, you have to take a hold of them. Never ask, I want you to give me a chance. The chances are taken. In the moment, you grab them, and Boca didn't take them. And we won 2-1 against Central Cordoba, which was very good. It's very good. It was a very suffering victory that it shows fallacies, which is what I have against our coach Ubeda, which in my point of view is no good. I told him that he has to be a champion of everything for me to say, okay, he's good, but all the fallacies that he has to get them better. Even if we are a champion, he has to improve on them, because you can't have a soccer team ruled wrong. To top it off, they robbed us because they made a goal that they were offsides, and when they checked the video, they didn't show it. Do you remember? We saw it together. Their goal, it was offside. That's perfect. Then we scored again, give or take the same play, and there was no offsides. The goal they scored, clearly, it was offsides. It was given to them, and the bar never showed the decision nor the lines. I understand that many of you who listen to me, maybe I'm not trying to be sexist, but maybe some women do not understand what offsides is, because I understand because many men do not understand what offsides mean. The goalposts and the baseline, just imagine this one here. This baseline continues the attackers, which I'm going to say, I'll use blue for them, and the defenders in red here. So then here we've got the attackers. We've got one attacker, two attackers. These are the Boca attackers right here. And we're going to say the rival players, here is the goalie here, which is our problem now because we always throw it to the goalie, or outside of the goalpost. Goalie or outside of the goalpost. Way above into the people behind them. Well, we have the goalie here and we have the attackers here, which is Boca in this case. So then, offsides, I'll sum it up. It has more rules. It says as follows. In the moment of generating the pass, if it's forward in the contrary field, these are rules I have to tell you. I don't want to get you all dizzy. It's for babies today. When there's a pass that is made from the attacker and the pass is forward, not behind, it's when he passes imaginarily towards forward, not to the same direction or backwards. The player, in the pass that's directed towards a player, between the player that the pass is going to the contrary goal post, there has to be at least two players. That's the rule. Not if you think that there has to be one defender, you're wrong. The rule says that there has to be two defenders. One is the goalie, and the other one can be any defender that is there. So then, let's suppose that here we've got Paredes, and he's going to pass to Merentiel, who's over here. He's not going to score it either way. He can just do it on his own. Let's suppose that there is a Boca player here, and Paredes generates a pass this way. In the moment in which he strikes the ball, it's not when it separates from the foot or anything. When he strikes the ball, these are rules that the people don't know. Sometimes those of the TV are so wicked, and the organizers also, that they stop the camera. It's slow motion. He comes and strikes like this, and they stop here. And it's a little bit separated. That is incorrectly. It is in the strike. When you strike it, not in any moment. It's in the moment that he touches the ball, because sometimes you strike and then separate. You see this image, and I strike the ball and separate it. In what moment do I have to make the line, if it's offsides or not? In the moment that the impact is made with the ball. Not in the moment that he carries it a little bit more, and not in the moment in which the ball starts to separate. Because every second in the frame, a player can be in the correct position or not. Because if I stop the camera here and have a player in the same line, if I advance a little bit more in the frames and I said, look, the ball's like this, and the player's already ahead because he's running, he would be offside. That's not it. It's in the moment in which I strike the ball that I strike it. Keep bearing that in mind, that rule. The moment in which, let's suppose that Paredes is going to pass here forward, in the moment in which Paredes strikes the ball, that's where an imaginary line is made of where the ball is, where he struck it. That's why it's the imaginary line. In that moment, there's an imaginary line. I have to stop the frame there. Where do I strike the ball? From the ball, there's a line entirely parallel to the midfield line, parallel to it. That is how it is imaginarily traced. Now, in the moment in which he strikes it, there has to be a player which is the goalie and a player, let's suppose that we have a player here, a defender. If Paredes strikes the ball here, in the moment that he strikes it, this player, which is Merentiel, is ahead. He is more ahead than the imaginary line, than the defender here, and the second player, no matter if he's a defender or not, because sometimes the goalie, people get confused. The goalie goes out sometimes, and there's one defender. The people say, no, there was one defender. No, it doesn't matter. There has to be two players. Generally, one of them is the goalie. So then in the moment in which Paredes strikes the ball, there cannot be less than two defenders. He would be offsides right here. Offsides. Merentiel would be. In the moment in which the ball goes out, not that it arrives, I've explained, when he strikes the ball, that's where the frame stops. In that moment that Paredes strikes the ball, the line of the second player of the rival, there has to be, our attacker has to be in the same line or behind. He cannot be ahead of him. So then offsides means that he is in the position that is ahead of the defender. Do you understand my explanation? Do you understand? Many people don't understand. They watch soccer to top it off. They watch it because I tell them to watch it. They don't understand the thing, what is offsides or anything. I want you to understand this because it's beautiful to understand it. If Merentiel would have been in the same line here, it's not an offsides, but there they say, look, if it's a hand that is crossing a defender, it's not a offsides. But if it's the foot, a little bit, yes, because the foot is a valid part of the body to make the goal. So then if it's the head, the shoulder, or the foot that is past the last defender, then it's offsides. If the arm is past, but not anywhere that could score a goal, then it's not offsides. If all the parts that can make a goal with are behind the defender or in the same line, it's not an offsides. These are very simple rules to understand. Very simple to understand. So then, always, when we play with these rules, our passes have to be in the same line or closer to our goal post than the second rival player. That would be an offsides. Every time that a pass is made, there has to be at least two players of the rival, the goalie and a defender. It is very simple, the offsides rule. Obviously, there's more rules to it. If I say them now, because if Paredes gives the pass to this one and not this one, if the referee sees that the pass is going to this one and he does not intervene in the play, then that offside is not counted because it was not towards him. He stays there inactive. Now, if the pass is going here, but this guy is bothering the goalie, a visual part, and this one in the good position strikes, but this guy was bothering the goalie, it was like interference, even if he's not with the ball, it is annulled because he was interfering the goalie. It's little things like that. Many other details to this rule. that have to be taken into account. The rule, maybe they're studying it to change it. I'm not going to explain what, but in the way that I've always thought that it should have been. But anyway, I don't want to get you all dizzy. I just want to show you a little bit, just a little detail, what it is to be offsides and what it's not. In reference to what? So then pay attention to what I tell you. When you watch the game today, those who understand, I'm not speaking to you, I'm boring you, but those who don't understand, pay attention to see what does it mean to be in an offside. Sometimes visually it would seem that it is in offsides because when he makes the pass, the player's here. But he comes with speed running, and in the moment in which the ball starts to go out, it's completely offsides, and you say, where did that guy come from? Is he offsides? No, he's not offsides, because the moment that he strikes the ball, he's behind. It's just that he comes with speed. That is precisely what you're trying to do, that you come with speed running, and the timing, the precise time of the strike of the ball has to be before he's ahead of that line. If the one that's going to hand over the pass, like always happens, is late by a second, he leaves him in an offsides, and when he gives it, you want to kill him when they do that. So then I see my companion running like a horse, which he should be running, but he's not offside. So then I make a pass that is elevated and long, and of course, in the moment in which I touch the ball, he's not offsides, but he does it like nothing, passes the defender, and you visually say, oh, he's alone. No. In the moment in which the ball is executed, when he touches the ball, he's in speed, but behind the line. And when he receives the ball, it would seem to be like he's alone because he passed him. You understand what I'm saying? That is how you play. So that's how beautiful. It's the very best sport that exists. That is how you play. That is how you play. Before, they used to play before offsides. Why do you play like that? Well, so that there's no players just camping there with a goalie all the time. I personally, I would annul the offsides rule. I hate it. For me, if a player wants to leave a player there with the goalie, he can leave him there. I would completely take it out. There would be more goals. Maybe there would be more goals. Some say that no, there wouldn't be any more goals, because it would be uglier. To tell the truth, I think that it'd be a lot better without the offsides rule. Very well. The goal they scored on us, they were offsides. Now, going on to the second game, that was the Argentinian League. We played and we went to Ecuador. We got to Ecuador. And in Ecuador, we played against Barcelona. From Ecuador. Don't think they're from Spain. From Ecuador. Which is the most popular team in Ecuador, but it's a really tiny team. It's the most popular, but it's a very bad team. Horrible. We should have beat them 3-0, but what happened? Many things against. Is the things that this world gives you always. This world will give you what you don't want. Always. You prepare for something, and it gives you another. If you don't prepare for that thing, he was going to give it to you. No, this is I prepared for this. And then it comes on the other. And that is how life is designed for. And when you think you're strong, you see you're weak because he attacks you where you can be weak the most. Precisely, that's the way it is. That's why you have to know how to play this life. You have to know how to play, or else you lose. We all lose either way. But if you know how to handle things in this life, then you have better results than others. Boca got to a country, which is, tell the truth, I don't know why the CONMEBOL allows them to play games like that. There's a very social problem in Ecuador. You might know about it. Many of the gangs of El Salvador went to Ecuador, and also the Mexican narco lords went there, and supposedly they were a country that were pretty peaceful. Now it's a disaster. That's what they say. I'm not saying. I don't know. That's what people say in the news. So I don't know. So it's very severe curfew that 11 p.m. nobody can be on the streets. How are you going to play a soccer game that'll end at 10 p.m.? The Boca fans, they tell them you're going to come out of the game and you're going to go to the hotel and don't go out and eat. You can't do that. It's to tell them, then we're not going to play. In conditions like that, you're not ready for a game. It started to rain like cats and dogs. Boca And the CONMEBOL said we should wait at least an hour to see if it stops so that it can drain. I said, we can't wait. We can't wait because if we wait, then the whole field will be in a problem because of the curfew. Aside from the fact there's a curfew, we can't let all these people out when there's a curfew. It's very rigorous. They can even fire at you. They can't. And to play the next game, you can't do that either. Because Boca has things to do. I mean, you can't do that. What would I have done? I said, I'll give you the 3 points to Boca and that's it. We leave. In this country that doesn't give us a guarantee you can't play, then fuck off. No. You gotta play it like that. It was completely a literal swimming pool. Completely a swimming pool. You can't play a football game like that and somebody might get injured. Who got injured? Our goalie. It is very dangerous to play in a terrain like that. In any championship in the world, that game would be suspended. The referee would come and throw the ball, and if it would not bounce, then it would be canceled. And it was like when, like a ball skipping on water, like when you throw a stone. What I would have done is that all the supplements, I said, oh, that's how we're gonna play. Hey, no starters are gonna play. I'm not gonna risk them. It is very dangerous. With all our bench, we would beat them either way. There's other details we have to take into account. When there's things like that, there's more. When there's an athlete that's coming with all his muscle and strength and speed, he goes against the ball. He can't stop there. He can't stop on a dime. So then you go past, and it's brutal faults that they get. The referee has to take that into account. The arbiter benefited us in everything. We can't even say that. Aranda does a plank that is brutal. That was to give him a red. He goes sliding a plank. Imagine I'm speaking to women, the non-soccer women. A plank, you know. When you go with the foot like this, you should never go with your foot like this unless there's no player, and I can do that to deviate the ball or something and slide. But when there's a player, I cannot show the bottom of the tennis shoe because that would be violent and dangerous. If I kick him there, I'll break his leg. Because it's like a kick, and he has his foot on the ground. It's most likely that you'll break it. You can't play with planks like that. You can't do that. You should never show the bottom of the foot to the players. Is when you show the bottom of your tennis shoe towards the player. If there's no one, like I've said, and the ball is leaving, you can do it like that, sliding. But if there's a player, you can't do that. You just can't. Well, Aranda, a player comes like that, and he comes like that and grabs him a little bit. He scrapes him. He just scrapes him a little bit. The arbiter should have given him a red one. He kicked him out. It was enough to kick him out. And then the idiot of Ascasiva comes along and he kicks the head of a player. Of course, a player gets upset that when he covers it with his body against the ground, the people get upset like that. You should not worry about that because the referee should say that there's a fault against them. But wanting to take it out of there, they want to kick it from under his foot, but that he kicks his head and then kicked out. There's nothing to say about that. We're professionals. We're not here to kick the head of players. But of course, kicked out. Ascasiva. And then they kick out one of their players that is so incorrectly kicked out. I even got upset because they kicked out a player that should not have gotten kicked out. It was not a fault. And just like with Barrero, he comes with his arms against Paredes, and it's slippery. He doesn't kick him with his arm. It's with his arm open like that, and then the arm does make contact with his foot, but it's not that he strikes him. I went against the ball and I opened my arms to protect him, and sometimes it'll meet someone's face. It is very different than to strike him. Then to protect him, it is very different. The referee idiot comes along and gives him a red to compensate whatever you want. Incorrectly kicked out one of their players, in fact. So then the referee gave us a benefit there. That and all, we lost like idiots because the coach, because he took Aranda out, he should not have taken him out. He didn't have to take out his best player that just passed completely, that left the idiot of Benentiel alone. You can't take out a player. You cannot take Aranda out. Coach Ubeda, you can't take Aranda out. No, he takes Aranda out to play, put two idiots in his place that weren't any good. Changuito not such an idiot, but the other one, Velasco, yeah. It was not for that game. Why? Because you have to be intelligent. It was a game, not for that type of players. It was to be in the middle. You have to populate the midfield, not more forwards. So then it was one mistake after another. The coach that we have doesn't speak with the players saying, hey, I'm sick and tired of Blanco, you pushing people. When River, they could have given us a penalty and they would tie because of your fault of using your arms. I want you to put those two arms up your ass. You push one more player with your arms and I won't let you start anymore. I want you to understand. You think Ubeda has the character to do that? He doesn't. That's why Blanco was pushing players out of the area. I mean, doing stupid plays. I mean, I get angry. One thing is to use your arms to mark a distance, and another is to push them. And I'm sick and tired of the idiots that go full stupid plays. You gotta tell a player, are you an idiot or what? I don't want you to push people anymore. You're earning way too much money to be pushing people around, you idiot. Another stupid idiot kicks the head of another player. You placed the whole entire team, left us with 10 players. When they kick you out, you throw everything, the whole fans and everything, they laugh. The other team's fans laugh and everything. I mean, you cannot be kicked out unless it's because of you tried everything, but because of stupid things, to kick heads, to be punching people, to be like the bad guy. No, that's over. That's just for stupid clubs. But players, like Bianchi said, to be a champion, you need intelligent players. That's something we don't have. We just don't have it. Unfortunately, we don't have that. And the one that has to be the most intelligent of them all is Ubeda, and he's not. He's not. Because he should have placed people in their place, and Riquelme should have said, you get kicked out and I'll give you a fine that it hurts. That is not imposed in Boca. In many other clubs there is, but not in Boca. Because if they get kicked out stupidly, he has to pay. And the expulsion was because to prevent a goal, he put his hand in there, and then who knows what, and you said, well, that's fine, you did it based on the team. But if you do it because you're an idiot, you have to pay for it, because this is a job. This is a job in a team. That's why I get against Ubeda. If I'm going to go paint a house, which is what I used to do, and the house is badly painted, and some guy comes over and breaks something, and I say, whose fault is it? It's mine, because I had that idiot and didn't place him in his place, or to kick him out and hire someone else that knows. The one to blame is the coach. When the team wants to kick everybody, or Boca should not want to be the bad guy. He has to go and play soccer. That's what they know how to do. And the rest can be kicking around. They didn't know with Brazil. Shouldn't touch them. Shouldn't even touch them. Because they are crybabies and they throw themselves to the ground because of everything. You caress their face and they're going to throw themselves on the ground as if they really punched them. The Brazilians. That's how the Brazilians are like that. They're all crybaby faggots and liars. We're also that. I mean, I'm not going to say we're not that way, but knowing what they do, we shouldn't even touch them. We should do the same game they do. If they touch you, then you should throw yourself on the ground, and not like Neymar. I mean, he would throw himself on that field, and the guy would fly as if they had killed the guy. That's how all the Brazilians are. You can't even touch them. Because they do, wow, I mean, such an act. Just imagine that they provoke you. I'm so upset against Brazil. You can't even imagine. Because the power allows them to. we go into their fields in Brazil and they rip bills in our face and they say, you guys are starving. They call us all kinds of things. But if we show them a banana and we go to jail, and now they're even more strict. If we tell them black people or anything, call them an animal or something, I mean, there's a girl that's going to be 2 years in jail or 15 years, the one liver, because she just called one of them, called him a dog shit monkey person. And I hate the stupidity of humanity. I hate it. I hate for the black people to be so sensible and the white people to be so sensible and the Indians to be so sensible. I hate it all. Because you can't understand what soccer is. We call black everyone, even if they're white. If you do something bad, we tell them you are a dog shit black. That is the Argentinian culture. And Brazilian culture isn't so. So then, knowing that we're going to play against them, the coach will tell them, look, boys, I don't want you to not even push them. We're going to play soccer, okay? Let them do whatever they want because they're faggots. The Brazilians, you start to beat them and they go desperate. Let them strike you. Let's not us strike them. Don't start to do it like Paredes. Don't put your hands all over the face. No. Let them do those things. But you have to be intelligent in life for everything. You have to be intelligent, not just for soccer, for everything. That's why I get sick and tired of being a retard like a coach. I'm sick and tired of it because the problems that the team reflects are the problems that the coach doesn't say. He doesn't tell the players, if you do one of those, and I'll kick you out immediately, I'll take you out. Merentiel, if you fail 2 different plays and you're going to eat 4 weeks on the bench, well, who do you think you are, Merentiel? You're what? You think you're Pelé? You're Messi? No. You're failing like a stupid idiot. You strike the goalpost. I mean, not even wanting to strike it, you throw it to the goal. What's your problem? You're earning $2 million a year, Merentiel, and you are hitting the goalpost? I mean, come on. Wow, of course the coach has to get like that, of course. If we have, who would that say, oh, the players play well. No, I can't stand it. I can't stand it. Don't be the good guy. They're employees. Set them in their place. These sons of bitches earn way too much money. I can't stand for some guy to strike the ball wrong. That's what I'm paying you for. I should pay you less. If I have a painter that paints like ass, I'll say, I'm not paying you to paint that door like that. I know you can paint better. You have to put an effort into that. You have to run. Stop doing stupid things. That's why I'm so upset. We played today. We lost both games against Libertadores in Brazil, and I'm sick and tired of it. We lost them because we're stupid idiots. We lost them because we went into the field to strike instead of playing soccer. To strike because we're machos and because and strike them pushing. Wow. What the fuck are you doing there in your head that shows that the coach is not directing well? Because he doesn't tell them, hey, let's play soccer without pushing, without striking. Let's play clean soccer, boys. Bad coach. Nobody can take that out of my mind. Ubeda is a fucking idiot. There's no turn of the page, but we're still competing. We play against Huracan. We should have beat them 3 or 4-0. If we lose today, Ubeda has to be fired today. If we lose, he is ashamed to lose against Huracan in our field with our people. With the whole team that we've got, if we lose, Ubeda has to be, I don't care about the Libertadores he's lost, so he has to leave. And that is my position. And from here on out, if he loses with Huracan, I'm going to insult him every Shabbat if he's still there. Because today, we better win, and we better win well. If he loses against Huracan today, he has to be fired. And the next, you know what happens? We play against Huracan. If we advance, because we've entered now it was worthless. All the goals that we've scored here, the one who loses are out of here. These are the eliminations, the playoffs. That's it. So then in life, you either take that or lose. You have to take it. You have to go out and win or die. Not to strike, win or die. But to die, soccerly speaking. I want you to understand something. If we win today, we advance. And on Tuesday we play again. That would be the quarterfinals already. Because today our eighths of the final. Completely elimination in the playoffs. If there is a tie, we lengthen. There's no penalty like before. They lengthen and then penalties. So then that is what they implemented now. Before, it was just a game and then penalties. No, now they lengthen the time. A half hour and then penalties. If we advance, which we should, I'm going to get so upset if we don't advance. We should advance. We're going to play against the winner between Argentino Juniors and Lanús. As long as while we're playing, Argentino Juniors and Lanús are going to play. So then the winner of us, this is because of the Argentinian league, the one that wins from us will go against the winner of Argentino Juniors and Lanús. Two very good teams. We play against Huracán, and we have to win. And it would be on Tuesday. Look, there's no time to rest here. That's why I would not had the starters play in Ecuador. You know, I'm sick and tired of a wet field. Go out and try to jog on a wet field. It gets you twice as tired. Because everything, it's like you start slopping around in the ground. It's horrible. The people are tired because Ubeda was not intelligent enough to say, it'll be enough with a tie. The starters should be on the bench. I mean, he's an idiot. I told you this before. That's Ubeda. That's Ubeda. No matter if we win, that is bread for today, bread for tomorrow. We have to win today, and on Tuesday, if we win, we face Argentino Juniors or Lanús. If we win that game, which we should win, because we're here enough to be champions, we'll play on Saturday again because of the semifinals. Today is the playoffs, and then quarterfinals, and then semifinals on Saturday. Semifinals on Saturdays, and on Tuesday we have to play the most important game in Copa Libertadores against Cruzeros that visit us. We have to win. So then imagine we have these 5 games, that we have to win them all. And now we do need the starters. Now we need balls this big. Because today, if we lose, we're out of the league, we don't play again. We have Libertadores left. And if on Tuesday, the other Tuesday, not this Tuesday, the other Tuesday, we lose against Cruzeiro, will be goodbye from the Libertadores. We stop playing until after the World Cup, and that's it. And when the league starts, we could win everything or lose everything. We're like this. Everything that we worked and played well, it could go to the garbage today. And then if we lose against Cruzeiro, the good thing is that we don't depend on anyone else. We depend on ourselves, on our results. If we win, if we beat Cruzeiro and then we beat the Catholic University, the 2 games in our field will be first in the group in Libertadores. I want you to understand, with all the mistakes that we make, if we beat Cruzeiro and we beat the Catholic University, we'd be first in the group. We depend on us only. We hold our own fate. That's the problem. And then we also depend on Ubeda. That's the greatest problem. But aguante Boca, let's go Boca. We win today. We play 3 p.m. today. That is what I had to tell you about that. I'm very upset with the dog shit game that we've been playing. Very upset with the coach, with Manentiel. Wow. Tell the truth, I am very angry because these are problems that could be solved. They can be solved, just like everything in this life. Some things you can solve. Shemah Israel, YHWH Eloheinu, YHWH Ekhad. Hear, O Israel, Yahweh our God, Yahweh is one. It's not 2, it's not 3, it is 1. Let us move on to today's questions. The invitational text is here, for I will speak excellent things, and shall open my lips for righteous things. My mouth will say truths, for wickedness is an abomination to my lips. All the words of my mouth show righteousness. There is nothing twisted or perverse in them. They are clear for those who understand them, and righteous for those who find knowledge. Spectacular text of the invitation. First question. I got heated up speaking about Boca. I get heated up quickly. Wow. First question. Shabbat Shalom, dear Silva lineage. Wishing you all the best. A question about last week's study. This question has more than 1 week, but I didn't present it last Shabbat because I told there was no time. A question about the study of last week. You revealed that everyone in the eternal truth that are the gods of this earth and that have signed will rule with justice. The question is, what will happen with those that say they are of the eternal truth, have signed, they have the rings, and they speak very ill of you? I'm very upset to hear how ill they express about you. I would reprimand them, and I make them see that everything that we've learned is thanks to you and your lineage. I don't live close to them anymore, and even now, those people go with the Adventists to their churches, and they receive Catholics, evangelicals in their houses to pray with them. Will those people form a part of the new Mashiach? Even doing that. Many thanks for all of the wisdom and discipline you've given us. Blessings, beloved. Silva lineage semper fi. Oh, I almost said greetings from. I was going to say their name. I didn't see that part. Greetings on behalf of? Okay. My answer for this is very simple. It is very simple. I've always read to you at the end, and I recite the subject of a song of Charlie Garcia, The Collective Conscience, which sums up the answer pretty much. For what reason? Because I really do not care. I could care less if the people go through phases, or they grow cold, or they leave. I don't care. I don't care. All that, we'll fix it later. What I care more about is that in the moment of signing, they signed a document, and that for me, I have a lot of value for that. So then I'm not worried at all what the activity of those people are, whether they speak ill of me. I don't care about that. Everyone will receive what they deserve, and what they deserve is to have signed that document. That is what I clearly see in that way. Now, my end goal in this life is to teach you something that stays in your heart, even if you leave from here, that you'll always have. That's why I like the lyrics of this song. The collective subconscious, where it says, a flower is born every day the sun comes out. That's what happens always. Every day flowers are born, and every day the sun comes out. And here comes an interpretation that I'll give you for you to understand, because this is an answer. Every now and then you hear that voice. That voice, I'm referring to the voice of the eternal truth. I could care less what Charlie Garcia had when he wrote this song. I could care less. But I take these lyrics and I adapt them to what I comprehend of what the lyrics mean. Every now and then, those people maybe don't listen to me always, but every now and then you hear that voice. What voice? It's this voice, the voice that gives you something that no one has ever given you. Every now and then you hear that voice as of a delicious bread to sing in, along with the cicadas in the balconies of the mind. It's difficult to comprehend. I understand it absolutely what it means, and I think I've explained it already. But I thought about asking the AI what that part of the song means to see what the AI says. And the answer they gave me was marvelous. I mean, marvelous, and I'll read it to you. I asked AI this part of the song, what it means, according to the AI, and she said, this phrase is belonging to the song Inconsciente Colectivo of Charlie Garcia, and it represents an interior, hopeful, and tender and natural voice inside that connects us with liberty and the human essence, in that intuition or positive thoughts that survives, even in difficult times or of oppression. And it quotes, voice as of a bread. What does it mean, voice as of a bread? Because the song says, a flower is born every day the sun comes out. Every now and then you hear that voice as of a bread. the voice is like bread. What does that mean? That voice is of bread. It suggests a humble voice because bread is humble. Essential, when we talk about food, we say bread, is that we're going to break bread. It's always the symbol of food. Nutritious and comforting, exactly. It is a voice as of bread that feeds you. It nurtures you. That's what a voice as of bread means. Delicious to sing indicates joy, spontaneity, and inner beauty. In the balconies of the mind, along with the cicadas, represents the corners of our subconscious, a place that cannot be reached by outer negativity, harmonized with nature, which are the cicadas. In summation, it symbolizes the hope and the inner liberty that is always present in the heart, even though the difficulties that are external are of the corruptions of life. Exactly. So then, when you hear this part, which I generally recite to you, sometimes I sum it up. A flower is born, every day the sun comes out. Every now and then you hear that voice, as of a bread delicious to sing, in the balconies of the mind along with the cicadas. But in turn, a transformer exists. That transformer is everything that's negative in your life. It could be your family, your husband, your wife, your children, your religion, your surroundings, your mom, your dad, your job, even your own fears, even your work area where you move around. All that is a transformer, which precisely that positive energy grabs it and it transforms it. And your enemies, everything. But in turn, a transformer exists that consumes the best of you. This is the summation of life. That's why life will always attack you and transform you. The good that you have into bad. It throws you back, demands more and more, and there comes a point that you no longer want. Suck at the liberty expressed. What is liberty? The liberty is the eternal truth. That is why when the people listen to me, they understand something, but then they leave. They don't leave just like they came in. They leave with an internal voice, with a liberty that even if they reject me and if they didn't like what I said or what I've said or my character or whatever, they are left with an interior voice that is like of a bread that give them liberty. Believe it or not, that voice is what the song's talking about. Suck at the liberty expressed. I'll read it to you. Suck at the liberty that the eternal truth gives you. You will always carry her within the heart. Once you have it, no matter if you leave and you hate me, doesn't matter. You have something which is different than when you came. Because you have a way of thinking that will analyze everything, it'll question everything. You will not swallow any candy given to you, maybe a couple here and there, but you start to mistrust everything. They may corrupt you, which is what happens. Your friends, your family, your job, your own thoughts, they may corrupt you. Say, I'm not going to listen to this guy anymore. I don't like this guy anymore. They may corrupt you. They may corrupt you. You may forget also. You may forget. But there's something that she is always there. The truth that was given to you is there. That's why, no matter who has gone through the eternal truth, he can never take the experience of the eternal truth out, because it's an experience you've lived, an experience which is very strong, crazily so, absolutely different to all the rest. You've heard bad words, you've heard what you thought were bad words, you've heard truths that shocked you, and even if you leave, your brain has something that no one else has. And the song ends, yesterday I had a dream with the hungry. Who are the hungry? You're the hungry. It's not referring to the hungry which are suffering. They're starving. No, those who are starving of truth, hungering for truth, they come to eat every Shabbat. Those are the hungry. I'm hungry. Give me. I want to listen. Of what an offside is, that Manitil is an idiot that can't score, and that Ubed is, I don't know what the fuck he's doing. Give me, whatever you have to give. Yesterday I had a dream with the hungry, which are you, In Ocho, you're the crazy ones. You're the hungry ones and the crazy ones. Crazy because you listen to me, and hungry because you hunger for the truth. Yesterday I had a dream with the hungry, the crazy ones, those who left, those who died, and also those who left, those who are lost. But the liberty's there. They are not forgotten. The song says, "Do not forget them. Those who are in prison. Those are those that are deceived. For a time they've been corrupted. They forgot. They in the prison of lies. They went back to the Adventist, like the letter says. They went with the Adventist, and they're praying with the Adventist. Let them pray all they want. Why don't you have your microphone, ma'am? If you were going to speak, you don't have to ask permission. Also, the people that speak the worst of you, that leave here speaking ill of you, or that are the most angry, are the ones that you left more essence. True. Huge wound in the heart. A person that is not impressed with anything will never remember you, but a person that really has you present, has anger against you, you really impress them. A mark, just like a picture that is there and looks at you and they feel hate. They'll hear that voice, or at least they feel that they have to make an opinion about that. Every now and then you hear that voice. Yes, of course, you really impressed them. I got that microphone for Leslie, and she speaks outside of the mic. Can you believe it? So then it says, yesterday I had a dream with the hungries, the crazy, which are you, hungry and crazy. Those who left, those who are in prison, they are deceived. Today I woke singing this song, which has been written some time ago. It is necessary to sing it once again, one more time. That is what the song means. The eternal truth is stuck to you. I was going to say like a bug. I'm not going to use that voice. The eternal truth. Once you hear it, it's part of you. You can't take it out. You may forget, you can be corrupted, but she's always there, and she never forgets you. She never forgets you. That's why I love this song so much. Don't think that I read this song because I have nothing else to read to you. No. Because I deeply love the things that I teach. And if I repeat something repeated, it is because I find a great meaning in it that moves me all the time. And I think that it'll get to your heart to understand this. That's why I repeat so many things that for me are magnificent, like this song. So then, this song speaks of that voice that the eternal truth leaves you, and the eternal truth does not forget you, does not forget you. It's like it leaves a mark there, and it'll always remember you. So I don't worry about those who left. I don't worry about them. Evidently, those who haven't left, the crazy and the hungry, the eternal truth, will love them way more. I mean, I don't even have to say it. But the others are not forgotten. The others have a part. They have a part that is left forever. You heard the eternal truth, and there's something that is left in you forever. Second question. Hello, Christian. Another question for the study. Are there different types of resurrection for the time of the end? That some resurrect for judgment. Paul speaks of transformation in an instant. Incorruptible body, I can't interpret it. Great big hug. The answer is complicated. The worst of all is that the answer we don't really know. I don't believe anything of what Paul says about this, because Paul was a great philosopher, and obviously he had a poem of the corruptible body dies in like a seed, and an incorruptible body is born. You sow, flesh is sown, and the spirit is resurrected. I don't know what the fuck Paul says, but it's something so that the people says, "Wow, it's not that. It's not that. We don't know how it'll be." But if there's anything that I'm sure of, is that the spiritual body does not exist. That he says that we'll have no, it doesn't exist. We're not going to be spiritual beings, invisible. No. That's not the point. So then whatever Paul has to say, that's fine. I'll take it with a grain of salt, but it's not the rule of what will happen. It's not that we bury a body like this and we resurrect a body that's incorruptible. No, I don't believe in incorruptible bodies. I think that everything will be corruptible, which will be what's the fun part about the new world. that we'll be correcting things on a permanent basis. That's the way it is. Like I've told you already, I don't believe in a perfection that cannot be corrupted. Yes, I think that if we do things wrong, it can be corrupted. That's why precisely you have to correct, or else it would be a life that would be absolutely, per se, not fun, nor also logical. Pardon me? Aside from that, monotonous, horrible, of course. We're not going to be perfect. We can make mistakes. And it's impossible to eliminate the evil, per se. It's impossible to eliminate the evil. But we are going to control the evil, which is different. Now we live submerged in evil, evidently. So then, the different types of resurrection, if I would start to speak, I'd be just like Paul. Daniel chapter 12 says that there's going to be a resurrection when Michael arises, and that some will resurrect. Those are written in the book for eternal life, and others unto confusion. You cannot understand it. What does it mean to resurrect into confusion? Why would you resurrect into confusion? To see certain things, those types of things. But there are many things that actually we really don't know. We don't even know what the text is trying to say. Whatever Paul says about it, I could worry about. I won't any less. Don't worry about what resurrection will be. Resurrection makes no sense. A resurrection to die again, that makes no sense. But it's not what Paul defined, nor is it what is mentioned in a paragraph in a prophecy. It's something that we don't even understand how to be entirely, and I would not worry about that. If I were to say how it'll be, I would be making something up, just like Paul. So then, actually, since I'm not worried about it, I also don't understand how it'll work entirely. What I do understand is that the Messiah, in other words, we, are the ones that are going to have the power of resurrecting the people. That's what it is. Now, I clearly understand the logical part that there is a kingdom of death. It means there's a place where the information is kept, and even about exactly just like that of the people. It's the only way of resurrecting anyone equally, because the particles are not going to be formed out of the air. I don't believe in that type of magic. What I do believe is that there is a double of every person. It's the vision that you see in Revelation chapter 20 that I've explained already, that there's a double, that we live simultaneously here. We're here, and somewhere else there's a double of ours that's exact. I don't want to call them a double, but a clone, an exact clone of ours. That advances until the person dies. When the person dies, they died at 10 years old. The body of 10 years old is left there because a 10-year-old person is not going to resurrect being 40 years old. Of course not. They have to resurrect at the age they died. So then everything is kept. Everything what the person thought, the whole body, the whole physiology, everything intact as the person died. Whether they're 10 years old, 20 years old, 50 years old, 100 years old. But that is in a physical place that the Messiah has access to only, because the Messiah has a key that it's called the key of the abyss. What is the key of the abyss? You say it's the power of resurrecting. No. It is the key to access the place where those bodies are with those memories, which is a consciousness. But they're unconscious there. The one that has that key can grab that body and join the consciousness, and you have it just like the day they died, before they died. And they have the power to change things of their body, cure certain things so that they survive, things like that. Whatever. That is what I believe in, that there's a place where you have to have a key that must be under the earth in some special place, under the earth, in some special place, which only the Messiah has access to. God has the access, of course, God has it, but he gives that key to the Messiah, and the Messiah has access to that place where there are billions of bodies, and not even sure if there's animals also. I'm not even sure if there's even animals also that have existed, and then somebody could claim him, like, I want to have this dog, I want to have this cat. Who knows? So then, in order to have an exact copy of what has existed here, there has to be a place. In a picture, we sum up the story of a person or how the person lived. And in a picture, the person can die, and we can continue to see the picture, showing it to someone, this was this person, and blah, blah, blah. The divine technology is a lot more advanced than that. So then he doesn't just have a picture, he has a body. He has a body, and that body belongs to it. That's the only way that I can understand resurrection, but not just because I made it up, it is because what I've read. John says, all of a sudden I saw, and there was no more heaven or earth. It's impressive if you understand my words of interpretation. Revelation chapter 20. Revelation, this is the only way that I understand resurrection, and there's no way that I can understand it any other way. Revelation chapter 20 says, and I saw, number 11, 20:11, and I saw a great white throne, and him that sat on it, from whose face the earth and heaven fled away, and there was found no place for them. I want you to understand what a simple man is writing, like John. John is shown something so that he can write whatever he wants. To top it off, it is decoded and concealed, because the scripture is concealed. Since the scripture is concealed, and John cannot explain a lot more than what a simple man can explain, he sees a white throne that represents the world government, which is the Messiah. And all of a sudden he sees that in that place there is no heaven or earth. So then what is there, John? How do I know there's no heaven or earth? Because he sees like in a dimension that he has never seen before. He looks up, there's no heaven. He looks down, and it's not the earth that he knows. He's in a different dimension, in a different place that he can't recognize. That's why he says the stupid shit. Why do I say stupid shit? Because the stupid shit is that he could not find a place for them. He couldn't write about it. What do you mean there's no place for them? They weren't anywhere. They weren't. He tried to, or the translation is stupid, of saying, of which heaven and earth fled away. No, they don't flee away. The one that left from the earth was the one that's seeing. And there was found no place for them. What type of writing that? I don't know if it's a translation, what? I don't care. But I understand the concept. All of a sudden I saw one that was ruling a government, and that was not on earth, because the earth, what do you mean? It's like it had disappeared. He couldn't find it anywhere in the heaven also. He's in a different dimension. And I saw in that different dimension, that's where we are, in a kingdom of the dead, what the people call, the Bible calls Sheol. The Sheol, the key of the Sheol. The one that entered there is John entered that, and I saw the dead, great and small. What does that mean, John's great and small? Were they babies and the others were 2 meters tall? Or does that mean people that are recognized and insignificant people? What does it mean? Who knows? Great and small. Both things. Let's suppose that they mean both things. Stand before God. They are standing. He sees them stand before God, the dead. They are still dead. I want you to understand. If you don't understand it, I've explained it sometime, but I don't think you grasp the concept. Those that are dead standing, they're not conscious. They're in a place, there's no heaven or earth. They're in a dimension, and the dead standing all together are there at the same time. So then they can be, you see the movies that are like cameras like this standing, they have them there like in cold. They're in camera, in capsules, and they're preserved like that. I want you to imagine when John has never seen that in his fucking life. We've seen it in human imagination that they had certain bodies there hibernating. So John is looking. You see that they're dead. They're not alive. And I saw the dead, great and small, stand. They're all standing. That's all he can say. They're standing before God. That God is the throne he saw. It's not God the Creator. Oh, Mikael, I'm going to send you out. Yeah. And another book was opened. They were standing before God, and the books were opened, and another book was opened, which is the book of life. And the dead were judged out of those things which were written in the books, according to their works. Notice, this is true. No, of course it's not true. There's no books. What there is absolute information about life. The books were opened, and you see the life. What it's saying is that the one that can enter there with the key, he sees the dead, their entire life, because he has the capacity, one to enter into that place of the dead, another one of also read their entire life. They are judged. Why are they judged? I'll explain. It says, and the dead, because of the things that were in the books according to their works, and the sea gave up the dead which were in it, blah 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 blah, and they were judged according to their works. And death and hell were cast into the lake of fire. This is the second death. And whoso was not found in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire. Okay. He sees things that he doesn't understand. Absolutely, he doesn't understand. And I'll explain it to you now. What I do understand. Not everyone can be resurrected at the same time. So then, according to the life of the people, some will be resurrected before and others later. And I'm saying after the 1,000 years old. After the 1,000 years old, you need 1,000 years old one day, the seventh millennium, so that we make a society, and those that are alive, we can harmonize amongst everyone. What is required is 1,000 years for that. It's nothing dumb. 1,000 years to grow conscious and build a society that we get along. To barely then say, okay, the moment has arrived to bring back those who are dead. But to time, it takes 1,000 years. Imagine what happened since the year 2026 until the year 1026. That time of the year 1026, which they didn't even, America had not been discovered, at least not by Christopher, or what they tell us. I tell you this story. Because the history, according to that, Christopher discovered it in 1400 what? 1426? 1421? 14, is it October 12th? 1492! 1492! Yes, of course, I forgot. Before reading it, I remembered. Yes, 1421, no, 1492. Just imagine, it's this history. I'm not saying, was it like that? No, I could care less. Because they could be lying. So then, but let's go along with the history that they tell us. 1492, America is discovered barely because America was a solitary continent. Evidently, it had already been discovered because there were Indians. They didn't come from Mars. It was already discovered, but it was far from the eyes of the Europeans and of the civilized world per se. So then, now I go to the year 1026. 1026. Up until now, 1,000 years. Well, God, the Creator, considered that it'll take us 1,000 years to form a strong society, a united society, a society that is ready for the beginning of the resurrection of their people, or else he considered it that it would be a chaos. And I find that to be perfect, because there are many things to work on, heal, to organize, and apparently 1,000 years is a long time, but for the dead is nothing. For us, it'll be a period of time that I believe that'll be very special, very full of work that you can enjoy, but very special, very special. We're going to leave a society ready, not just of the government, but everyone who lives, ready to educate those who are coming behind asleep. So then 1,000 years separates in the reigning of the Messiah with the resurrection. Now, in that resurrection, I think it'll be everyone together. It'll be, let's take this group, and then this group. They're judging them. They're not judging anything. What they're saying, they're choosing who will be resurrected. to incorporate them little by little into society. Very well. That is all that I know. That is what I interpret of the scriptures. And more than this information, I cannot say. So then, I'm not gonna do a whole story of what resurrection will be more than what I've told, because that's all I understand. There's a place where everything is there. You have to get them out of there, no, nothing else. There's a reason why God has never been able to show a real resurrection. Because we talk about the resurrections of Elisha, Elijah, and there are people that are immediately dead. We talk about resurrections of Yahweh and the name of Yeshua that was here. Resurrections that the body was still warm. The greatest of them all, 4 days dead. But you'll never see a resurrection of someone that was made already powder, because God wasn't able to show it to you, because he has to go and look, even being God and all, the body to that place. Because not even being God, could he say out of nothing, get together the particles of Moses, and then the particles of Moses come along, and Moses shows up there. Nah, that would be an apparition. It's not Moses. To resurrect Moses, you got to go to that place where your mom, your dad is, your grandpa, your grandma, everyone there. They're all there in that fridge. Let's say they're all there. So then that's why God never showed you a real resurrection. Ever. The max, which he said, the max that I can reconstruct are 4 days dead. More than that I can't. I'm going to use the maximum. But he did not resurrect King David, who was already in his grave made powder. That would be a commotion. He didn't resurrect David or anyone. Then they said there were resurrections that they came out of the graves. I think. It's all lies. You might say, oh, and the graves were opened. First of all, which was the reason? I want to know the reason of why, when Yeshua resurrected, he resurrected dead people that were dead of a long time ago. What was the reason? I want to know. Is there a record of that? There's none. Paul says, and yes, he resurrected like 500. Paul says, right? That's what he says. He said that. I think that's a story that's so stupid, because First Corinthians 15 says, and I find it to be a story that I'll risk it, because I'll risk it. I give my opinion, what I feel. 1 Corinthians 15 says, 1 Corinthians 15 says, and he was buried, and that rose again on the third day according to the scriptures, and he was seen by Cephas, then at the 12. After that he was about 500 brethren at once, of whom the greater part remain unto this present, but some have fallen asleep. After that he was seen by James, then all the apostles, and last of all was seen of me also, as one born out of due time, blah blah blah. I thought he was speaking about this. Okay, I'm confused. I think he was speaking that there are some who had been resurrected. I can't remember if someone knows where Paul talks about that. It could be. No, yes, I was confused. I thought it was 500 that he resurrected. No, it says that he appeared unto 500. Something that it doesn't say anywhere else in the scripture, nowhere. But he says, yeah, he appeared to 500. Paul, where do you get that information? Where does it say? Yeah, Matthew, but Paul doesn't say anything about that. Yeah, I understand what Matthew 27 says, where it says that Michael angel. Below the veil of the temple was ripped in two, and then many bodies of the saints that had slept arose. The question is why? And coming out of the graves after the resurrection, they came into the holy city, and they appeared unto many. That's a lie. Just like that, a lie. Because I'm dealing with the father of lies. That's a lie. I want for the apostles to say, and David came, and then what happened? He died again. What happened? Tell me, since you're telling me this story, and I'm not an idiot, what happened with the bodies of the saints? What happened? What excuse did they give to their family members? Hey, here we are. What, they go back to the graves? No, no, no. We're gonna continue to live. How do they appear, as young people or as they had died of old age? Let's say some guy whose name was, I don't know, Jacob. Jacob appeared, who had died 100 years ago, a saint. He appears. How does he appear? Like how he died at 70 years old. Let's suppose he had 70 years old when he died. Who knows Jacob? No one saw him. He's a body. Who knows him? And my grandpa gets up and he comes along and is like, "Who are you, Juan Silva? I don't know you. How do you prove you're my grandfather?" When they start with all the stupidity, I want to grab this whole book and turn it on fire, set it on fire, because I know that the apostles were one more of an idiot than the next. When they said, "And the saints appeared," I see them as all those churches, daughters of bitches, where it said, "God spoke to me, God this and that," because God says, "Why don't you shut your ass, you son of a bitch? When did God speak to you, son of a bitch? Tell me, when did God speak to you?" I'm gonna grab them and punch them and kick their face in, just like Pasiva, like with all these liars, because they're all a bunch of liars. Paul's a liar, of course he's a liar. Paul is, of course he's a liar. In many things, what did we call him? The lying apostle. Of course, of course. So then for them to come and tell me, "Oh yeah, when he resurrected, they got up." I used to believe it, but I don't believe it anymore. So then, function of why they resurrected. Who knew them? What happened afterwards? The Adventists will tell you that that little book, that little group, that second class group, because it's more demeaning to them, that second class group, Jesus took them when he was saying goodbye. Ciao, boys. He was taking that group. That's what they call it, the first fruits that he took captive. And to the captives, he took them to heaven. Maybe they're the 24 elders that are with him. I even said that, and yeah, the 24 elders are the 24 who resurrected. What the fuck are they doing in heaven? People that will never rule, that are not the messiahs. So then we get into say a whole bunch of stupid things. There's the eternal truth that makes you free. These are the words that I teach you that penetrate into your mind and will never leave. That I say the apostles were one more of an idiot than the next, liars, and they always lie to us. You don't ever get that out of your mind anymore. Never again. Even if you get upset and leave, it is within you, in the balconies of the mind, along with the cicadas, and one day you'll hear the voice. Yeah, they are some idiots. They really lie to me. That is the voice that you'll hear. That's why once the eternal truth, you sucked at it. Suck is the effect of a baby sucking at the breast of the mom, feeding. That's the only food for him, and grabbing onto the tit. That is how you who listen this word, you suck it, and it makes you grow. You can't take that out of your body anymore. That is a liberty you have in your heart, that the liberty of freed from these whole bunch of liars. What did they do afterwards? Who knew them? What was the function? Did they preach? What did they write about that? Was there commotion in the city? How is it that there's not one whole chapter about whom Matthew knew, or John knew? John said, "Prophet Jeremiah resurrected appeared unto me. Tell me what he told you. Tell me. No. Silence. Because it's a lie. It's a lie." And then later, it's supposed he resurrected Jeremiah. What happened with Jeremiah? He lived the life after the 70 years old, or he resurrected at 25 years old. Let's suppose that Jeremiah. Let's suppose. Or Jacob, who was 70 years old and died. He resurrects at 70 years, he'll die the next day because it's in the same condition. Unless Jeremiah or Jacob resurrects. He died at 70, but he resurrects with a physique of 30, so then not even his family members would know him if there was anyone left. And this guy, I'm seeing a demon, devil. No, I'm Jacob. And he resurrected you, not the rest. Either all together or none at all. So then who are they? Who chose them to resurrect? What the fuck did they do? Did they bring anything to the table? No. There's not one sole thing that they brought to the table of these people that were given a second chance. They should say, I want to be a witness. I was dead for so many years. I came out of the grave. Jesus resurrected me. No, silence, silence. Because it's a lie. I'm already, balls are full with these lies already. These whole bunch of, yeah, they resurrected. And then what happens? One resurrects now. If Abraham Lincoln resurrects, and they prove that it's Abraham Lincoln, you don't know the whole commotion in the world. No, they resurrected a whole bunch there. No one knew a thing. It's all fine. And we're the idiots that believe everything. Oh God, you resurrected those idiots who didn't even give the names, know what they did. Oh, glory to God. Oh, He's so good. God didn't resurrect anyone because He can't even do so. That's my point. He can't. With those bones, He can't. He has to go to the place of the dead that He designed and take him out of there. That's what He can do. But then what? That out of the dry bones, He resurrects. No one ever saw that. It doesn't exist. It does not exist. The resurrection is very different than to what the people think. This body, when it rots, it rots. And there's no God that can repair it. Period. We need another body that's equal, which is, this is a living body over here. There's a backup. There's a backup. We need a backup. But of course, absolutely. But if you want to believe the lies of the Bible, the story for kids and the Christians that thank God for everything, yeah, that's fine. Believe whatever you want. There's a question answered. What time is it? 1 hour 25. Proverbs chapter 8. Did they give us a like? The hungries and crazies of today, did they give us a like? Are they hungry and crazy? I'm hungry. We're going to eat spaghettis with stucco sauce. 152 likes. 160, we have less hungry and crazy people even every Shabbat. We used to have like 300 live. There's less crazy and hungry people. That's fine, but they leave it the eternals with them. Nothing happens. With you crazy and hungries, that's enough. It's enough. With the hungry and crazies that we have left, it's enough. I just wanted to see something else here. They're playing such a game, the Clásico of Córdoba. Between Talleres of Córdoba, Talleres de Córdoba, the Pirates. 0-0. Wow. Precisely, it is the Clásico. One of them has to go. It is brutal. Not that I care, but it's good because there's lots of things. It's in the province of Córdoba. Precious province. Spectacular. Córdoba is so spectacular. It is so much like California. Córdoba and Mendoza are a bit different, but they both seem like they're part of California. Actually, it's spectacular. Córdoba is. In that game of Talleres of Córdoba. I mean, wow, what a game. And then we come at 3. We play in 2 hours and a half. It is the team of Sifon Ubeda. Oh, mamma mia. That's why I demand with so much from Sifon. He just is always shitting the bed with the players. The games that we've won, I attribute them that we have phenomenal players. Paredes, Aranda, when he wants to, he'll score. We have Barredo. No, I mean, we have phenomenal players. But we need more from Ubeda, more from the players, better character, better soccer. Tuco is a sauce. We call it tuco. It's a tomato sauce, very Italian. Or Argentinian, rather. Very Argentinian. They make it pretty much like ours. Yeah, of course. Tuco is a tomato sauce. It makes me laugh when I speak with this microphone here. But It's a tomato sauce. Tuco is. That is how the Argentinians call it. I've never heard an Argentinian call it tuco to the tomato sauce. I don't know. Tomato sauce. How do they call it? Let me look it up. But we call it tuco, and they used it a lot. They don't say tomato sauce. And this time, the tomato sauce was made by Christian. More than anything, Angelina. More than anything, Angelina. She wanted to add olives. You fry the onion first. After frying them, you add some tomato or diced tomato. It could be canned, and we use the best quality. And then Angelina wanted to add olives. Commonly, olives are not added, but she likes it a lot. They add rosemary and other spices like oregano, and yes, also garlic. That is always used, and also basil. Basil, you can add basil. We added everything: basil, rosemary, olives. I mean, it's a crazy Italian. In Argentina, they don't do that. I mean, whichever way you want to do it, softer, or with meat, or with lots of time of cooking. Either way, these are tucos that are varied. It varies in taste, and it also depends how your mom taught it to you, your grandmother, mother, your kin. Every house, the tuco is a bit different. It's very, very typical. The flavor of the tuco that's so special for the pastas. Tuco is also used for ravioli, other types of pasta. According to the Spanish Royal Academy, tuco means a whole bunch of things except for sauce. It means all kinds of things. It means a whole bunch of things here. Number two, it says from Quechua, brilliant in Argentina. I've never heard that they call it tuco to an animal that is like the firefly. I've never heard about that. Tuco number three, in Argentina, Bolivia, Peru, and Uruguay, a tomato sauce that's fried with tomato sauce and parsley, where there are many different. It's like polenta, rice, and pasta. In Peru, it's like an owl. Can you imagine it? You like it with an owl? No, with the tomato sauce. We call it tuco. We in Argentina, but there it says that in Bolivia, Peru, and Uruguay, they call it tuco. And you say tuco because you're Argentinian. So then tuco is a sauce that is more delicious than just a regular tomato sauce. It's tuco. It's the most delicious sauce. It was always tuco for me ever since I was brought up. I thought it was completely strange when they would call it tomato sauce here. To the things. Pomarola, is that what the Italians say? It was so strange. I thought it was a different type of sauce. Exactly. And we don't call spaghetti spaghetti. It's very rare. Noodles, we call it noodles. There's another name that I forgot right now. In my house, they used it a lot instead of noodles. We used that word, but there was another word. Tallarines, a type of noodles. They use that word when they do it at home, more like homemade. But the sauce is tuco. Well, that is what we're gonna eat. It's already made. I am so hungry right now, but we're gonna eat that. So then we're all hungry. And it's the preview of Boca. If Boca does wrong today, then Ubeda has to resign, no matter what he has done right. When you do everything right, But one thing that determines your life, you do it wrong, that's it, it's over. It's nothing is worth everything you did right. Look, maybe you're a good son, a good student, worker, everything, fine. A good person, honorable, but you started dating or married the wrong person, that's it. Your life is ruined completely. Maybe you were such a good person and such a saint and whatever you want to say. Precisely, you got pregnant because it was just, you fucked up. You fucked up. So then it's one of those things here. One of those things. No matter everything right that we've done up until now, if we lose against Huracan today, over that you have to resign. You have to resign. There's no tomorrow. Proverbs chapter 8. Does the wisdom does not cry out and intelligence give out its voice? It's a question that Solomon asks and says. And it's done unto the entire world. Actually, it says, don't you hear wisdom cry out and give her voice? And to the intelligence tell the truth? Yes. Wisdom in many aspects always is there present in many things, but the people don't hear. It's always there, but the people prefer not to hear. But it doesn't take away that there was a voice. And it tells you where it is, Solomon does. In the heights next to the streets, in the crossroads, she stands. So then, whatever, you're going to have signs on the path that you're on, advice of wisdom always. Even if your life ended up wrong, in the whole course of your life, the wisdom will present itself in different occasions. But what do human beings do, generally? Sometimes we don't pay attention. What we do pay attention to, and we start to do well. Not referring to only what the eternal truth is. Wisdom, generally, what it's saying, what Solomon's saying, is that it's present for those who want, but is not hungry. It's not a crazy person or a hungry person. That's what happens. So then they let it go. That is part that also we are, for all those who want to listen, that aside from that, both interpretations. In the heights next to the path, in the crossroads, in the gates, in where the people have to go through, that is where it'll be next to the wisdom. At the entry of the city, at the entry of the gates, she cries out. So then, a person that makes a mistake because they poke themselves in something that's not good. Actually, they heard voices hearing contrary things. You're always going to have. In certain occasions, they're going to say, no, they didn't know, or whatever. Life presents you signs before you do things. It's just that one doesn't listen to them. They say, no, I'm going to do what I want and what I think. 4. Unto you, O man, I call, and my voice is to the sons of men. Now, it's wisdom speaking directly. It's not Solomon anymore. It says, I, wisdom, I speak unto all men. I cry out. I direct my voice unto the sons of men. Understand, O simpletons. Discretion. And ye fools, understand intelligence. I'll read you a different version. Is the modern language version. Learn to judge, you who know not. What does it mean to judge? To judge another? No, no. To judge everything. What you do, what you're about to do, what you have planned to do, how to act. You have to judge it all. What job to take, what do I study, what I don't do. Do I drink alcohol or not? Do I go out to have, I don't know, to do certain activities, or I don't do certain activities? You have to judge everything. Is it convenient or not? Learn to judge, you who know not. And be more reflective, you who think not. I love it. I love it. I love it. And he speaks more than anything to the youth. He says, learn to judge, you who know not. And be more reflective. Everything requires a reflection. If I'm going to do something, I have to reflect on what is convenient, not because I have the impulse of doing it, not because I have the opportunity of doing it. I have to think coldly if it's convenient or not. Of course, that is an exercise that you learn to practice. The youth generally have not that capacity yet. That's why they insist that they start to develop it. The youth they act without thinking, they act by emotion, they act sporadically. One day they want something, the other day they want something else. That indicates that they don't understand clear what they have there in their mind, and do not reflect, because if they're switching things, is because there's not a deep reflection in their minds, even if they think they do. Because they like something today, a girl, and then tomorrow they like another girl. And then they don't know. And then later they don't like her anymore and they want someone else. Or they want to do something else. Or they want a different activity. There's no reflection of what they do. There's no reflection. Why do I do what I do? What is the motive? Is it convenient? Not convenient? No, that's a lot to ask from the youth. But there are certain youth that start to develop this, and they do better every time. That's what it says, learn to judge, you who know not, and be more reflexive, you who think not. Exactly. The wise man understands this very clearly, very clearly. The youth and many young people don't know how to judge and are not reflective. Hear, for I will speak excellent things. I told you that today I'm going to tell you what it actually says. It's very difficult to translate. It's correctly translated, excellent things, but it's not exactly the concept. I'll tell you what it means. Hear, for I will speak excellent things, and will open my mouth for righteous things. In the New Spanish Bible it says, hear, for I speak without riddles, and I speak with sincerity. It's got nothing to do with the fact, but I read it to demonstrate that they all translate whatever the fuck they want, nothing else. Proverbs 8:12 in the Jerusalem 2001, it says here, for I will say important things. This one starts to hit the target more. He hits the mark more. I will open my mouth with sincerity. Very well. It's not with runarounds. It's very special things. Excellent things is what was translated in the Spanish RV 1960. Important things in the Jerusalem one. The word is H5057 of the Strong's Dictionary, Nagid. The word Nagid in Hebrew that no one could care about. I mean, I'm just telling you. The word Nagid was translated as excellent things, important things, but actually, what Nagid means is commandant, civil, military person, or religious person. Generally, honorable subjects like things of the high class, princes, things like that. The Jews, when they translated this and they explain it, it says the word Nagid can only be translated as words that come from the royalty. That is what they translated. And they said it's difficult because it's like it makes no sense to write all this, but The word nagid means words of royalty. I'm talking about royalty, not of royalty that it's really royalty, but of the line, the lineage of kings. So they say what it means is subjects of royalty and of great importance that actually they have the power of life and death. So then the words nagid, which were translated, because I will speak excellent things. You directly, if you understood the concept of the word, it should have been translated as I will speak things of royalty, which are of life and death, which are a law for you. That is what the Jews say also. They are laws. It's a law. Because it's royalty speaking, the king, and it's my words are a law. It's not an opinion. So then the word nagid says that it's got power of life and death. My words are rules of royalty. That it's how it says that it has to be translated. My words are rules of royalty. In the rules of royalty, the king decides whether you live or die. That is what the king decides. So then, the words of wisdom is not the opinion. No, no, no. I'll read it again. Learn to judge, you who know not, and reflect more, you who think not. If you don't change, then actually you are absolutely left in the position that you least want to be in, which is of losers entirely. Why? Because my words are of royalty, and the equivalent for life and death for you. 7. For my mouth shall speak truth, and wickedness is an abomination to my lips. I love this. Wisdom says, my mouth shall speak truth. In the Jerusalem 2001 it says, my palate savors the truth. How beautiful. I don't know if it's because they want it to be more poetic. But my palate, wisdom says, savors the truth. So then she loves the truth, and my lips hate evil. Spectacular. That is what takes place only with wisdom. And wisdom also is a symbol of the Messiah. The Messiah only wants truth and hates evil, wickedness. Not just wickedness, but stupidity. Stupidity, the wisdom hates of the youth. It says it. To the youth, he says, simpletons, stubborn, calls the youth all kinds of things. Why? Because wisdom sees the youth as very stupid. They don't want to understand, and to top it off, they think they know it all. They don't want to learn. The youth can't say they should, and they have to develop. They can't say, I have to start to think things better. Because to tell the truth, I have to change the paradigm of my life. Otherwise, I will not obtain what I want. What happens with the youth? They don't change, and then later they end up bitter their entire lives. That's the way it is. That's what happens. In the Jerusalem, in the New Living Translation, Proverbs 8:7 says, for I speak the truth and hate every kind of deception. Yeah, actually wisdom, the real one, hates lies, hates it. 8. Righteous are all the words of my mouth. Somebody asked me the other day, how could they make a kingdom that's perfect? How? There was a gathering, somebody was asking, how could a kingdom be made perfect? If you had to create a perfect kingdom, a utopia, that you can say, you're the creator, we're going to create a perfect kingdom. How? How is it? Well, the debate was whether there's going to be death or not. I could care less about that. For me, if they want to create a perfect world, the government has to say the truth always. What I ask as a basic rule, because I am so sick and tired of lies. I'm so sick and tired of the lies of Yahweh, the father of lies, of the religious lies, the lies of the apostles, of the prophets, of my mom, my dad. I'm sick and tired of the lies of the government, the lies of science, of the white robed priests. So then there cannot be a perfect society where there are lies. The government, which from there, the base we're talking about how to create a government to have a perfect society, not from the point of view of the citizens, but of the government. I'm the government. How do I create a perfect society? Has to be absolutely truth, whatever it costs. Whatever it might cost. When they said whatever it might cost, it I have to say the truth. Since that's contrary to this world, because it's all a lie. They're going to lie to you. They're going to have to get profits of economical dominion. You cannot have a society like that. You can have a perfect society where there's death, but that there's truth. That the government imposes the truth that does not allow for the white robed priest to come and take control of all the humans lying and making business that's horribly filthy, with playing with the soul of the people. That is where the government says, no, this is how you do it this way and this way. Tell the truth. I only want the truth, something that Yahweh never gave me. The truth is what I want, nothing else. If there's something important in a government, it is the truth. That is where everyone fails. They all fail. That is why I feel so related with this message that I read, because my mouth shall speak truths, and my lips hate wickedness. There's nothing perverse or twisted in what I speak. That is what I expect of a perfect government of a God. If I have to worship a God, from here now, someone comes and says that they're God, and they expect my adoration, I have to see in that person. I have to see that they're righteous and that they tell me the truth. That is what I have to see. If I don't see that, then I can't worship him as a God. Righteous are all the reasons of my mouth. And I love it. It's not that justice, but more. But the reason of the mouth is righteous. Because what justice is, justice will always be a gray zone. Because for those who are hurt in an aspect, it'll be unrighteous. And with the trauma and everything, oh, it's unfair. They mistreat me, they don't treat me like I should be treated. They can't see the truth. So then, the subject about justice, I could give a fuck what the people think. Justice has to be based on a logic. And this text, I love it. Righteous are all the reasons of my mouth. There is nothing perverse in them or twisted. So then justice is based in a logic that is not perverse or twisted. And for many people, it'll turn out that it'll seem unfair the way we're going to act. Such injustice. Why is it like this and that? How unfair. Justice, the people will never see it entirely. But that doesn't matter. Actually, there is a justice, and the people, in order for them to see that justice, there's a reason why they give us 1,000 years, because the people have to mature, and many people won't see any justice until they see it. So then the Creator said, I'll give him 1,000 years, actually, so that the people are convinced that this government is righteous, and they can trust them, but understanding. So then remember that justice it depends on what point of view you're looking at it, and the truth also, because some come with one truth and another comes from a different truth, and sometimes it's from the angle where you look at it from, and so then you say, no, this is the truth, and others say, no, this is the truth. So then 1,000 years are required to see what the truth is. But I love this. In the Spanish DHH, Proverbs chapter 8, it says, all my words are righteous. There is not the least of falsehood in them. Wisdom says, all of my words are righteous. In them, there's not the least of falsehood. That is what I expect of a government. That is what I expect of a government. If they impose certain rules, it's because they are rightly righteous. Those laws are. Because they work. Because if certain things are prohibited, it's because actually it's not convenient for the people to do that. For real motives, not economical, not motives that the government thinks that they have to have a control over people. It isn't so. So then, actually, wisdom is the essence of the Messiah. 9. All of them are plain to him that understandeth, and right to them that have found knowledge. You know, this text is, I love it. I've explained it already in some previous subjects, but we had to do other things. But for all those who don't understand them, they say, this is dog shit. Absolutely. This is dog shit. Because all of them are righteous to them who understand, and them who don't, it's not reasonable, because they say that it's reasonable to those who understand. And them who do not understand, they're not righteous. They are a deceit. That is why people come, they listen, and they say, I can't believe what I'm hearing. Of course, because they know not, they don't understand wisdom. All of them are righteous unto them who understand, and reasonable to those who have found wisdom. In the Spanish DHH it says, for the intelligent and the understood, my words are clear and irreproofable, magnificent, absolutely spectacular. In the New Living Translation, it says, my words are obvious unto all who have understanding. They are clear for those who possess wisdom. The New Spanish Bible says, they are loyal to those who understand, and righteous unto them who comprehend. But those who don't, it is crazy. I'll read this whole text in the textual Bible because I liked it. Proverbs 8, 6 through 9. Hear, for I will speak excellent things, and open my lips for right things. My mouth shall speak truth, and wickedness is an abomination to my lips. All the words of my mouth are in righteousness. In them there is nothing froward or perverse in them. They are clear for those who understand them, and righteous unto them who find knowledge. 10. Receive my instruction, and not silver, and knowledge rather than choice gold. Well, this text, tell the truth, it is impressive if you comprehend it to its depth. Wisdom is speaking and says, you should choose the entire time my teaching and not silver. You say, what do you mean not silver? No. Between my teaching, if they make you to choose my teaching or to receive money, let's suppose $10 million in this hand, and you don't listen to the eternal truth anymore, you should not even think about it. And they say, no, $100 million on your account today, and you leave the eternal truth, never hear it again. Wisdom tells you, you should always, without thinking, choose my words above any amount of money to receive my teaching, and not money. Doesn't say don't go out and look for money. No, it's not saying between money and my teaching. Don't doubt to choose my teaching. Science before choice gold. And what is science? The science that wisdom teaches you. What is science? All the science that we learn. Theological, medical, science, all that than choice gold. And choice gold is precious gold, mind you. Gold doesn't tell you not even how much. Not even how much. What it's saying is that wisdom has no price. You can't compare it with gold, with silver. There's no way of buying it. In the New Living Translation, it clearly reads, choose my instruction rather than silver, and knowledge over pure gold. Choose my instruction instead of silver. 11. And River Plate has such an ass. We are going towards the asshole. They don't kick out one player, they kick the other from the other team. River goes. They kick out a player of theirs, and to top it off, they kick out their goalie from River. And in the last play, they kick it and goal, they win. Oh, I'm so upset. These dog shit chickens, they have such an asshole. In Argentina, it is referred to when you speak about a nice ass of a girl. An Argentinian says, what an orto, what an asshole. When it also means what an ass instead of luck. We use it differently when we say luck. It has nothing to do with their ass. It's the luck. What an ass. You use the word ass to mean luck. They say, what an ass you have. It says you have luck. No, nothing, no one. Well, for us in Argentina, ass, in the sense that you have to read the context, it means luck. They say, I did it, and it was ass. What do you understand by that? Would you understand it? And if said it turned out like ass, you have to understand, but in Guatemala, do they understand that it's luck, right? Well, in Argentina, it's the more per se a bad word to say luck, those things of the destiny. No, in soccer they say ass, and River has such an ass in the last play that they stole from Racing. Wow. They kick a ball, they just touch it, and they win. And it ended. In River, they had kicked out their goalie. It was a defender who was using it. All they had to do is to kick it from anywhere when a player from the field to be the goalie. He doesn't know how to be a goalie. The goalie dedicates how to do it. He knows where to position a player, because River had no goalie to bring in. Any defender had to be the goalie, who's not a goalie, hasn't the least idea how to block, how to dive. He doesn't know. It's like if I start to block, so they had to kick. They just had to kick it from anywhere. They didn't do so, and River goes and wins. Oh my fucking god! I mean that, yeah, and we lose. Well, today we have to win at whatever cost. However, we have to win. Players, your fucking mother's cunt. Let's see if you put balls in game, you sons of bitches. Like in the song, it's a hymn. It's a national Argentinian hymn in soccer that says, "Oh players, your mother's cunt. Let's see if you put balls." That's a song. You have to know it by memory because you have to sing it to help your team. For your team, that's when they're not playing well and they're not running a lot, you have to sing that. If we're winning, no, not if we're winning. If we're winning, we sing other songs, and there's stronger than that. Stronger songs. That's a good song, a good motivating hymn. And today we have to win at whatever cost. So then, I just remembered River 11. What time is it, by the way? 1:13. Wow. Let's see how this game is doing. I'm very anxious today. Very anxious. Oh. The first time is about to end in the Clásico of Córdoba. Talleres de Córdoba, Belgrano 0-0. Wow. I don't see any pictures on my timeline, but I thank you. Leslie, there's the microphone. So then I'll use this space to thank you for all the pictures that you have posted in LVE Official. They're so beautiful. Sometimes it takes me a long time to like them all and a little heart, but I have seen them all. I've been very happy to be able to see them, to see all the water pots, how you spent the celebration of Pesach, and to see all of you, many of you, that I've seen ever since you were little, and now I see them enormous, huge, many of the kids. It's incredible how time flies, how they grow. It's incredible. And I get so happy in my heart. Maybe now I have a little less time of giving likes and commenting, but I'm always present. Christian generally always can see it with me, and we comment and we speak about everything we see in the group. And well, it becomes difficult to be paying attention and personalizing with every one of you, but it did make me very happy. That's what I wanted to tell you, because actually it really made me happy to see all of your pictures. You know that I like a lot to see you. I would love to share with all of you many chats, more than anything, to celebrate together. But well, someday it'll be. That is what I can assure you. So then, and speaking about Pesach, that Leslie said, speaking about Pesach, some asked me whether we had to eat bitter roots. And the truth is, if you want to and you liked it, I mean, I know it already passed. We didn't eat any because we forgot to buy any. It's not a requirement anymore for Pesach. But not because they're bitter, but because we like them, actually. We would eat them because we like them. So then, actually, it was either way to accompany them with bitter herbs if you wanted to. Actually, I forgot. I forgot entirely. It's like different Pesachs now. It's a Pesach that's absolutely new, a new Pesach. And I forgot to tell the boys or for us to buy dandelion, which is the one that we like at Chicoria. Dandelion. We forgot. But if we had any, we would have eaten them because we like them. We eat it with pleasure. I wanted to add, just I showed you, I thought it was very beautiful, very interesting that the great majority celebrated with pizza. Oh yeah, how great! I didn't see one sole picture in Pesach. What a shame. I didn't see one sole one. My Facebook doesn't show anything. Yeah, I've seen them, and I found it to be incredible. So then we were all celebrating together. We here eating pizza. Many over there also had made their own. So then incredible. How beautiful, marvelous, spectacular. Congratulations to all who ate pizza. And also those who didn't but ate with leaven, right? We ended up so full I couldn't even sleep. I mean, we ate so much pizza. I did. I don't know about the rest, but I ate so much. It was so delicious. Our pizza was. That one that I made, modesty aside, it was so delicious, so delicious. I ended up with my belly like this. Leslie was like, "Why did you feed me?" She had her belly like that. Why did you eat so? Well, you pay the consequences of eating a lot. You didn't end up like that? So heavy, right? Oh, mamma mia. There was no the frenade that to bring that down. Wow. How heavy. Anyway. So then, I wanted to leave the concept of Pesach that we make everything absolutely the same like before. It's just that our bread has leaven now. But for the symbol, like I've already told you, last Shabbat, before, We made some real matzahs without leaven. To top it off, that matzah was so delicious. Wasn't the matzah so spectacular? It was so spectacular that, of course, we ended up devouring everything. We did the right in a wine that the Roblero brought. It was so delicious from California. Wow, that wine, there was nothing left. In one cup, we all drink it all in just one cup, a special one. And the gold is already starting to get spent. They told me it was pure gold, but I don't know. It's not gold, really. There's so much money they generate. We don't generate anything with the few hunger and crazes that we have. It's enough. Thank you for the flowers, Roblero family. Spectacular. It's precious. Because tomorrow it's a day of Mother's Day. I'd like to congratulate, I'm not sure if in Latin America, or is it just here? In Argentina also? Sometimes they don't coincide in the Father's Day. It isn't, right? Well, for the whole world, happy Mother's Day. For the whole world, our congratulations unto all the mothers. Happy Day of Mothers. There's many flowers, and these are precious. These flowers are. What are they? They look like orchidea. Do you see those flowers, what they are? They're so pretty. It's not an orchidea. I said they look like them. I know they look like them. I have it written down. I'm not a specialist in flowers. Chrysanthemum. No, I don't know any of the flowers. Nothing. But they're precious. They are absolutely precious. On the third Sunday of October, all the Argentine mothers, we say them Happy Mother's Day. Very well. I'll read number 10 again because to retake the subject, it says, receive my instruction and not silver, and knowledge rather than choice gold. In the New Living Translation, it says, choose my instruction instead of silver and knowledge over pure gold. 11. For far more valuable is wisdom than rubies. Nothing you desire can be compared with it. So then, everything that man, not man, that's men and women, but man, as a human, men and women, what they can desire, and I'm talking about in a crazy way in their heart, ambitiously, and real, not even that can be compared with wisdom. Why? Because wisdom, actually, it's the real thing that the Messiah will bring into the whole world. So then, if somebody offers you wisdom, which is the wisdom of the Messiah, there's nothing comparable with that wisdom. Nothing, absolutely nothing. But of course, you have to be crazy and be hungry. I, wisdom, live together with good judgment, and I know where to discover knowledge and discernment. Actually, it would be better to have written I am wisdom instead of I wisdom. That's all fine. You understand it either way. But actually, it's the word I am. I am wisdom, and I dwell with prudence, and I find signs of the advice. The fear of Yahweh is to hate evil, pride, arrogancy, evil way, and the froward mouth do I hate. What is the fear of Yahweh? The fear of Yahweh, and I want you to never forget that I've taught you, it's not the respect unto Yahweh because we respect Him because He's our God. No, it is more than that. It is the fear of becoming a person like Him. We must be terrified of becoming Yahweh. And even more that we're in a position that I'm teaching, that we're understanding, that we're going to be the new God of the earth. And the new Yahweh of the earth. And the last thing we want that could happen is that we become Him. Because, or else, why change it if we're still with Him? The fear of Yahweh is to abhor evil. The fear of becoming Yahweh is precisely to abhor evil. Evil, and Yahweh is all that represents evil. Everything that evil represents, Yahweh is. So then, I have fear of becoming him, becoming evil. I hate evil. So then I have fear of Yahweh. Pride, a characteristic of Yahweh in many cases. I've explained it already. Arrogancy, also. The evil way and the forward mouth, in other words, the lying mouth, do I hate. Who's speaking there? Wisdom. Wisdom is speaking. The Messiah. I hate. 14. Counsel is mine, and sound wisdom. With me, wisdom says, is counsel and sound wisdom. I am intelligence. I love it because it's I am wisdom. And it also says, I am the power, but it's kind of mistranslated. I'll read it to you. I am intelligence. Wisdom speaking says, I am intelligence, and mine is power. It could be translated like many Jews translated, I am the power, the real power. I am wisdom, I am intelligence, I am the power. That's why it says translated here, mine is power. In the Jerusalem 2001 it says, I have sound wisdom and efficacy, intelligence and value. The translation is very, very soft per se. I have justice and efficacy. I am wisdom, I am power. In the simple language Bible, it says, I have in my power the counselor and good sound wisdom, value and understanding. I like that a little bit more, believe it or not. I have in my power counsel, sound wisdom, value and understanding. But actually it says mine is power. Power is mine, which is different. Wisdom says, I am intelligence and I am power. Those three things. Now comes a text. Now comes a text that I'm not going to explain because I'll leave it for next Shabbat. But it says, by me kings reign, and princes decree justice. By me princes rule, and nobles, even all the judges of the earth. I believe I've explained it already. I think I've explained it. I forgot already, because we dealt with this text 2 or 3 Shabbats. Certain things happened, or there was problems with the sound. It was shorter book I was playing. So many things happened. I forgot if I explained it or not. But actually, now it's coming back to me. I think I did. So I'll explain it again. By me kings reign, and princes decree justice. Actually, the Jewish versions say, kings shall reign by me, and princes shall decree justice. If the kings of the earth have reigned by wisdom, then we should live in a marvelous world. And it isn't so. There's no wisdom in Trump. There's no wisdom in Netanyahu. So then, the kings of the earth do not reign with wisdom. They reign with wickedness, with deceit, which is the contrary. Wisdom hates evil. Detest arrogancy, and these presidents, all they demonstrate is arrogancy, lies, hate towards life. I cannot accept the text that says that the kings of the earth actually are kings because they have wisdom. It isn't so. It isn't so. Through wisdom will the kings rule. What kings? The only true kings. The rest are ephemeral versions of kings. The kings, the real ones, will rule forever. Forever. So then the kings are the Messiah. They will rule through justice. That's why I love this text when I read it clearly. Through me kings shall reign, the true kings. Through wisdom shall the true kings reign. And the princes, which also are the kings, but it has a different name, through me will determine justice. It's perfect. Because justice has never been made or done on this earth. So then wisdom is everywhere, but it's not precisely in power. Wisdom is not found in power. But it will be in power. When wisdom gets to power and says, power is mine, then it'll be a kingdom like there's never been before, the kingdom of the Messiah. Now, wisdom is not in power, nor was it ever in power. "16. By me, princes rule, and nobles, even all the judges of the earth." A very bad translation. If I have to believe that through wisdom the princes rule, and through wisdom do all the nobles judge the earth, I've explained this already. It is absolutely incredible that we don't live in a precious world. No, we live in a world of wickedness, lies, and evil. Wisdom is not with them. Jerusalem 2001 says, "The governments rule through me, and the princes are all just judges." Actually, the Jewish versions say, "Through me the officials shall rule." Future. Of course, the officials, the kings, the princes, the Messiah, through wisdom will rule. And the nobles, the kings, referring to the Messiah, all judges of justice. Exactly, all real judges of justice. A real justice. It'll be the justice of the Messiah. It's never been yet in power. 17. I love that love me, them that love me. I love that. She doesn't love those who don't look for her. No. Treats them with indifference, could even curse them. You have to love wisdom. You cannot obtain wisdom if you don't wish for wisdom. But once you obtain wisdom, which is like a person, starts to love you, or else they won't love you. I love them who love me, and those that seek me early shall find me. So then wisdom allows herself to be found by people, but you have to seek for her. And if you love her, she loves you. Here, it's not that she's going to love you unconditionally, whether you love her or not. No. If you don't love her, you'll have the hate from wisdom. That is what it's equivalent. Let's say it's equivalent that things are going to be completely wrong for you. Your life is going to be completely wrong for you. She says that she only loves those who love her. She doesn't love anyone. She loves those who love her back. So then she responds to the love. If you don't have love for wisdom, you'll never obtain her. You have to love wisdom so that wisdom loves you. That's the way it is. And to start to love wisdom, you have to get up early, in a sense, to look for her desperately, that it's better, that wisdom is better for you than any amount of money, that wisdom is more worth than money. So then wisdom starts to love you, and you start to do things different in your life. In the Bible of the Americas, it says Proverbs 8. The Bible of the Americas says, "I love them who love me, and those who seek me diligently shall find me." Exactly. There's no need for me to say those who get up early. It says those who look for me diligently will find me. And when those who look for wisdom and find her and fall in love with her, then wisdom falls in love with you. But wisdom will never fall in love with you if you don't fall in love with her. That is what I want to be super clear. In order for wisdom to fall in love with you, is that you start to suck The blessings that wisdom gives you, you have to fall in love with wisdom first. 18. Riches and honor are with me. So then there's no riches and true honor, it's all ephemeris. If wisdom doesn't give it to you, you may have inherited it, the world may have given it to you, Yahweh may have given it to you through the beast, doesn't matter, it's ephemeris, you'll lose it all. The true riches and true honor are with wisdom. Oh, durable riches and righteousness, that's why it clears it up. It clarifies that everything that the world can give you and not wisdom is not durable. What's durable is the intelligence that wisdom gives you, and it's the intelligence that we're receiving to be the Messiah, mind you. But of course, or else it makes no sense what you're listening to. The riches and honor are with me. Durable riches and righteousness, and what an injustice! That's what it's got to do. The Messiah. It's got nothing to do with having been read 500, 1,000 years, 100 years ago, and to try to do things well, to think that wisdom. I mean, you can draw your conclusions and draw certain things from it, but actually this book and this type of information is for the Messiah. This is direct information that belongs to the Messiah. The Messiah is the only one that will have justice, honor, eternal honor, the only one. But what is the Son of Man given in Daniel 7? Dominion, glory, and kingdom. Glory. And it's a dominion in a kingdom that shall never pass. So then the glory of the Son of Man, the glory of the Messiah, is eternal. Any other glory in this world is ephemeris. The glory, that's why it's so important that you understand that the Messiah is speaking directly. I love them who love me, and them who diligently look for me, find me. Richness and honor is with me, the true one, durable ones, and justice. It says in the Torah Samad, Proverbs, Torah Samad, in my hand, and justice and opulence. Not just, do you know what that means? A lot, right? In quantity, but when we talk about opulence, it's not something negative in the people. Opulence, it's way too much. When we talk about opulence, generally, there's way too much luxury. We're criticizing them. No, that's an opulence. You're just completely, it's a waste, way too much. You have way more than what you deserve. You understand what I'm saying? So then in that aspect, opulence is way more. And what does wisdom say? Opulence is mine, way more than what you could imagine or deserve. 19. Better is my fruit than gold. And fine gold, mind you, is not just any gold. My fruit is better than gold. And what is the fruit of wisdom? The effect that it causes in you. If you take wisdom to your mind and your actions, the fruit of wisdom is way better than fine gold. That's why the fruit of wisdom is when wisdom gets you pregnant. What is the fruit of wisdom? Is the union of wisdom in yourself. And that begets something, it begets actions. And when you, through wisdom, you start to do things that you would not have done before. You start to change your life in many aspects. That gives fruits, as those fruits, those changes in your life, thanks to wisdom. That's why it says, my fruit is better. She says, I am the one that is getting you pregnant so that you have that fruit, wisdom says. My fruit is better than gold. And fine gold, mind you, there's nothing more beautiful than a change in your life that the wisdom made you do. And my revenue, what you will earn, My revenue better than choice silver. It says I have such reward in your changes in your life. For you, my reward is a lot greater than what you think that you can do alone. The New Living Translation says 8:19, my gifts are better than purest gold, and even the purest gold, that's where it ends. The gifts of the wisdom are better than purest gold. My wages, which is what I'm telling you, the revenue, the earning, my wages are better than sterling silver. Of course. All these texts we know, but we're understanding now is that those who are going to be a part of the Messiah, that's why you cannot calculate it. It's an opulence that you cannot even think about. What I'm telling you is all those who, the blessed, the hungry and crazies who listen to the wisdom and are part of this, their witnesses, their earnings is, you cannot calculate it when it's the fruit, actually fruit. And the fruit of this to become the Messiah. 20. I walk in righteousness in paths of justice. Spectacular. I walk in righteousness in paths of justice. Speaking about justice, Gabi, I'm referring to Gabriel Ekhad. Gabi, you saw the text you sent me. Can you send them again? But notice the profile that I am here now. I am in the eternal truth. Not the one from Christian over there. I want to read it. I like what you sent me. It's interesting. Just a little detailed in certain versions. The ones of Malachi. I walk in righteousness, in paths. You have that this profile, right? Let me see if I write a note here, through here. Where are you? Maybe I don't have you. But number 20 says, I walk in righteousness, and I shall guide you through righteousness. Wow, that's great. In paths of justice, in the middle of paths of justice. In other words, wisdom says, I will guide you through justice and through paths of justice. I like that because we have done two judgments in the new Bible. LH, I can't remember what that was. NV, LH, NV, LH. It says Proverbs 8:20. I walk in righteousness, in the midst of the paths of righteousness. I'll read this and then later I'll read this. I'll finish this. 21. That I may cause those that love me to have their inheritance, to cause that those that love me to inherit substance. If you don't love justice, you will not have your inheritance. That's what the text says. But if you love wisdom, it says, wisdom will make sure that you have your inheritance in order to cause for them that love me. Wisdom says to have their inheritance. Why? Because she will fulfill her word to cause that those that love me have their inheritance and that I fill their treasures. Magnificent. Wisdom says, you love me? Not just will I guide you through the paths of righteousness and justice, I will make sure that you receive your inheritance and I will fill your treasures. Wisdom says, personally, I will give you your treasures. What a better promise. The New Living Translation says, Proverbs 8:21, those who love me inherit wealth. I will fill their treasures. The New Spanish Bible says, as a legacy, talking about legality, richness unto my friends and to fill their treasures. Exactly. If you love her, she considers you her friend. And she's your friend legally, she'll give you an inheritance and fill you with treasures. The textual Bible, it says, I cause, wisdom does, I cause for those that love me to obtain their inheritance, so that I fill their treasuries. Exactly. A better promise of this you will not obtain ever in your life. It's a deal. You love wisdom, you're crazy and hungry for wisdom, then wisdom will not let you down. It'll make you inherit. Maybe you're waiting now, right now. It won't be that way. The inheritance isn't now, unless you think you're the young rich man. Was it? It was the young man that wanted his inheritance. Now, the one that wanted, what's the name of the parable? The prodigal son. There's no prodigal son here. Prodigal son. There's no prodigal son here. Ah, you said it without a mic. Okay. I understood if I had misunderstood. Oh, I forget. I forget to push this button. Right. With the practice, you'll remember. The subject here is that the promise will be fulfilled. Maybe now you don't see it reflected, but that he will fulfill it. I give you my word that you'll be the richest of whatever is on earth, the richest on the earth. That's my promise. It's a promise that the wisdom will fulfill in order to be those who love me, to have their inheritance, and that I fill their treasures. Now I want to read to you, I know that we spoke about judgment and the wisdom. I'll read up until here. Number 22. Number 22. That says, Yahweh formed me in the beginning before he created me. We'll study that next Shabbat. An impressive text. I mean, that text, wow. It was so good for us when we believe that Jesus, the Son of God, was begotten. Somebody wrote to me the fabulous text that was written in these versions. It was fulfilled that the Messiah would be sent before that the day of judgment would be sent unto Yahweh, the intellectual author that was in Yom Kippur 2024. So then he sent me some versions. Obviously not all the versions say that, because they all say before the burning day of Yahweh, before the great day of Yahweh comes, before the day of blah, blah, blah. You already know this perfectly well, what Malachi says. But in these versions, it called my attention. Gabi noticed something, Malachi 4:15 in the NVD is, I don't even know what that is. The New Bible V, I don't know what V is. New Bible, whatever. I don't know what it is. Write it down what it is, so that we understand. What does it say? A goal from Belgrano? Wow! Let's go Belgrano. Tell the truth. I'm not sure if I don't like Belgrano better than I don't know. Tell the truth. I don't hate either of the two at all. I sympathize with both of them, Talleres and Belgrano. So then, either way, the Pirata is winning. Wow. There's time left. Maybe I'll see what happens there. Maybe there's a tie or something. Okay, I'll read these texts. Pay attention. New Bible of Belgrano, is that what it means? I don't know what the V is. It was a D that I'm looking for. D, not V. Malachi 4:5, New NVD. Look. Before my day of judgment arrives, this is what called my attention. Yahweh has a day of judgment. And the day of judgment was in Yom Kippur 2024. But look at the promise. Let's get ourselves in this situation. Forget everything you know and what the text says. Look, before my day of judgment arrives, which will be a very astonishing day, I'll send you another prophet like Elijah. So then it says, it seems that I'm going to have a judgment, but before that judgment, a prophet Elijah will come. Spectacular. Because I'm not saying that this is right, but in the common version it says, before the burning day of Yahweh cometh, I hereby send you Elijah. And it's very interesting that it says in this version, that says before my judgment, it doesn't say my judgment, before the judgment of Yahweh. I read a different version. This one also says Malachi 4:5 VD 1979. 1979? Look, I shall send unto you another prophet like Elijah before the coming of the great and terrible day of the judgment of God. Wow, that one's good. Before the great and terrible day of judgment of God. But of course, we read it that way, and we think that God made a judgment upon the earth. No, the judgment of God is the one that we judge God in. So before the judgment of Yahweh, that we judged Yahweh in, and we found him guilty, he will send Elijah. Of course he has to send Elijah, or else who the fuck will make judgment? That's the idea. It's very good. And the last one that I read is Malachi 4:5-6 in the NVD. Malachi 4:5-6 NVB. I like how in English you don't have this confusion of B and V. Look, before the arrival of my day of judgment, which will be a very astonishing day, I shall send you another prophet like Elijah. His preaching shall cause for the fathers and the sons to reconcile, and for them to have the very same intentions and the same motivations, so that when I arrive, I will not have to punish them, destroying their country completely. What's important is, look, before my day of judgment arrives, which will be an astonishing day, I will send you another prophet. Exactly. Has that been fulfilled entirely? It has been fulfilled. The day of judgment comes upon the earth. No, 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 no. It was the judgment of Yahweh, not of Yahweh towards the earth. The one being judged was Yahweh. That's so great that we judged Yahweh. Take that. Yahweh, you have been judged, and before your great day of judgment, Elijah came. I wanted to add how here in Google it says, at a penal judgment, the involved parties go. Where an alleged crime has been committed, it's mainly the accused, known as the defendant, along with his defense. Exactly. If I say Maradona's judgment, you know that when somebody judged Maradona, it's not that Maradona is judging. If I said Yahweh's judgment, immediately in our mind we say Yahweh will cause judgment. No, no. The thing is that the judgment was upon him, and before he is judged, he says, "I'll send you Elijah." Which is part of everything that the judgment will be spectacular, spectacular. I like that, Gabi. I like that the new interpretation of what the day of the judgment of Yahweh means. It's a day of judgment towards him, Psalm 78, 1-2, New Living Translation. All my people, hear my teachings. Open your ears unto what I say. For I shall speak unto thee through means of a parable. I shall show you hidden things of our past. A flower is born. Every day the sun comes out. Every now and then you hear that voice, as of a delicious bread, delicious to sing, in the balconies of the mind, along with the cicadas. But in turn, a transformer exists that consumes the best that you have. He throws you back, demands more and more, and there comes a point in which you no longer want. Suck at the liberty's breast. You will always carry her within the heart. They may corrupt you. You may forget. But she is always there. Yesterday I had a dream with the hungry, with the crazies, those who left, those who are in prison. Today I awoke singing this song, which has been written time ago, and it is necessary to sing it once again, one more time. The destiny, it is written. The end is inevitable. God, the new and true God, is Argentinian. Let the laurels be eternal that we knew how to achieve. Crowned with glory, let us live, or we swear, with glory to die. Let's go the eternal truth. Now I'll speak to Boca. The players of Boca. Players. Your mother's cunt. Let's see if you put balls into this game. That you don't play with anyone. It's better that today you go out to win. Not to strike, but to win. Let's go, Boca. Semper Fi. We shall meet again next Shabbat. Hallelujah to every one of you. If you liked it, if you're hungry, if you're crazy with the eternal truth, give us a like. Hallelujah to every one of you.